All right, how y'all doing? This memo is called "In My Lifetime." Now, as a youngster, growing up, about 5 years old, I suffered so much. Like, I had a bike and it was like a truck. You get in the truck and you pedal it. You know what I mean? Two guys in a project stole my bike and my truck. Now, we went to his mother and everything, and she was against us. Like, she was denied, like, my sons don't do that. Okay, now, another incident when I was young, these guys in a project, they was like brothers and cousins. The older ones held me, and, basically they didn't really have to hold me, but they was there with their presence, and they was telling the little one in their family to break my jaw. So he punching me all in my jaw and stuff like that. Now, there was bullies, another incident, there was bullies in the project, right? Because it was a few bully packs. But one of them, they was bullying us, beating us up. It was two of them. I think they was cousins or brothers or one or whatever. So they lived on my side of the projects, the side that I live on. So they bullied us. We caught one of them by themselves, and we sort of like beat him up, but we didn't beat him up bad. And then they got their cousin. Now, the cousin approached me with a pit bull and a gun. Was about to shoot me and feed me to the dogs. Another incident, like this girl, she pushed up on me in the club. I don't know, I forgot what age I was, but I was like I had to be about 14, because, so now me and her, we started talking. I went to visit her one time, and I gave her $20 for Pampers. Her boyfriend got out of jail. He came looking for me with a 9mm about to shoot me. And my friend pointed me out. He was like, yo, who's such and such and such? And then he was like, yo, you mess with such? I was like, nah. I was like, yo, she's my friend. We ain't really got nothing going on, but I met her. She a cool girl and all that. And he was like, well, that's my baby mama. This, that, and third. And this dude was like a big time street dude. I ain't gonna put too much information out there. Now, what's also critical is that at the age of 14, I was working for Burger King on 33rd Street in 3rd Avenue downtown in Manhattan. And one day, me and my homeboys, we was going to play basketball. It was my day off or whatever. But I was a good child, man, growing up. And, so he asked me to hold the rest of his weed because he smoked weed. His shorts, they have no pockets, so I got caught with it. It was just a little bit of weed. But anyway, so now the police, we went to Burger King to go eat. But this Burger King wasn't on 33rd Street. It was on 100, like near 150th, 149th, and Cortland Avenue, a little off of 3rd Avenue. So after we ate our double cheeseburgers, because it was a 99-cent special, and I was treating my friends. Now, the police rose up on us and point guns at us as we walked out. So they take me, they pointing their guns at me. Somebody was in a car pointing me out. Now, and she took me right in, and they said that not she took me, but she pointed me out to the police, and the police took me into the police station. They booked me for robbing that Burger King that I just ate at Cortland Avenue, and said I robbed them for $700. But I was at work at the exact time that that Burger King got robbed, and it so happened I was just working at another Burger King on 33rd Street. So boom, they took me to the grand jury. Now, what's crazy about that is that while I'm in jail, suffering, the one that robbed Burger King is out there making babies and spending that money or do whatever, because, criminals you got gay men that got babies. You got all kinds of people that got babies. It's not determine who should have a baby. That's just like a lady, she had told me she could mess with whoever she want to mess with. That's their right. I'm not pointing it out like that, but like now in the projects, was also critical. Like when I did have my girlfriend, what happened was Come on, man. When I did have my girlfriend in the projects, you know what I'm saying, people bullied me, like older people in the projects, older guys, like about 5 years older than me. I was young. I was like 14 years old. Matter of fact, when I was dating my girlfriend, they was like, you need to dump that boy and get with a real man. One guy was like, I sex your girl, but not in those exact words. I mean, in worse of words. Like he said, I sex your girl. And one dude, I mean, he had my girlfriend's hat, and he was bullying her, messing with her. See, this is the type of things that went on in the project. So now I don't have no kids, you know what I'm saying? Because this whole situation messed me up where I didn't have no kids because girls stopped dating me and they was bullying me and stuff like that. And one dude stabbed me in the back and told my girlfriend what I said. So, it wasn't no respect, none of that stuff. So I grew up, you know what I'm saying? And I started, because I didn't have no girlfriend, I started paying for sex from crackheads. Now, people can't really, they judge you or whatever, but there was married men that do that same thing. They pay crackheads for sex and stuff like that. But that it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. And ladies wouldn't date me, and I was lonely, and the dudes brag. I know if you do the comparison, you see dudes, they got 2 baby mamas before they even 18. You know what I'm saying? And so it is what it is. Ladies didn't date me, so I started. I went paying for sex for crackheads, but it was the time of AIDS. That's the whole thing. That's what made me snap, really, because I snapped and I went to prison for 31 years for I just went off. You know what I'm saying? I lost it. Just the thought of me being exposed to AIDS and it made me snap. And the district attorney, you know what I'm saying, they mischaracterized the case and exploited the facts in the case. They didn't look at the other side of the coin. They only looked at like I was a criminal, like I was a bad man. But meanwhile, you got drug dealers and all that. They still out there. You know what I'm saying? And they the ones that made the situation worse because, I mean, they say, well, if it wasn't for crack, a lot of men wouldn't even have to get no sex. Okay, so America is not a place for me. Now, they lied at the grand jury. What they did, they reopened the grand jury the next day after the jury's voted and passed the true bill without giving that true bill to the court, without filing with the court, and they reopened the grand jury the next day. Now, no one is supposed to be in the presence of the grand jury once the vote and the deliberation process starts. But somehow, the district attorney said she felt I should be indicted on murder. So what happened was they resubmitted the deprived indifference charge. Now, the felony complaint had intentional murder. Somehow, the intentional murder was dismissed by the grand jury. And the grand jury know a person that's not criminal or a person that didn't have the intent because there's where you could submit evidence like mitigating factors to the jury but not to the grand jury, but to the jury. But if it's a scopable evidence that proves your innocence, they must submit that to the grand jury. But they reopened the grand jury the next day and resubmitted another charge, deprived indifference. Now, the whole time while I was incarcerated, one of the prosecutors was writing to the parole board not to let me out, this, that, and the third. And I just recently got stabbed up by my roommate he came out of jail 11 days and he had stabbed me and he went right back to jail. But thing is, it's crazy like out here. And, I'm not comparing myself to nobody, but, like the crack, the drugs, I mean, that's neither here nor there. Ladies don't date me. I don't have no kids, none of that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they did this to me, like falsely arresting me. Another incident, when I was driving my car at Hunts Point. Matter of fact, I was over there to buy sex, but I didn't do nothing wrong over there. Now, the police just out of nowhere just came and stopped me in my vehicle and frisked me, saying that they had an anonymous tip from somebody that I had a pistol or a gun in the car. So they searched my car, didn't find no pistol. So the next thing that they do, they say, well, we want you to walk the straight line. So I walked through the straight line. Then they said they got to take me into the precinct to give me a breathalyzer test. So they took me in and said I was 1 point away from not being intoxicated. Now, my lawyer, he's a person that knows the law, and the judge knows the law. And I'm a youth. I'm 18 years old driving at that time. I have my license, registrations, insurance. I can't drive now. I can't do none of that. They like, you can't drive. You can't have no kids, you can't have no lady in your life. You just strictly stripped and deprived of your liberties. And ladies don't date me, so what can I do? They destroyed my life because my legs got messed up. And I'm going to tell you another incident. Now, that's another thing, is that, all right, the lawyer said, do you want to spend 15 days in jail or pay a $250 fine for a DWI? Now, he never said that they didn't have no probable cause, because somebody having a pistol in the car is not probable cause to stop and frisk a person. It could be a police officer, it could be anybody, if he's not committing a crime or whatever with the pistol. But that's the law, but you didn't find no pistol. Now you reaching for a DWI. And you never had no probable cause at the beginning. So me being a black man, I would have never made it. Now, $250 deprivation is, yeah, that's a lot for a child. And I was working at what? I was working at D'Agostino's. I was working at Burger King. I was doing good. I was deprived of relationships with ladies. My situation just got worse and worse. And nobody cared about me. Nobody cared. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? Now, I forgot the other incident what I was going to bring up. But anyway, it's like these guys got caught with credit cards inside Port Authority. Now, the police said that they was like, not hoarding, what they lording. They said that, but the courts throughout the case, they said that Port Authority is the public place and they have the right to be there. So they had no probable cause to stop and frisk them. And therefore, they threw out the case. And the credit cards that they found had to be thrown out too, because it's fruit from the poisonous tree. You know what I'm saying? So by having no probable cause, and it's the same thing with me. With the DWI, they had no probable cause to stop and frisk me. And they found no gun. I wasn't breaking the law, no traffic violation or none of that stuff right there. But, you know, like, my life is like, another thing with the Social Security now, by me being in prison for 31 years, because they kept me in prison for 31 years. And another thing that they did was that they fabricated and lied about my mental health record, lied about my mental health